They laughed first. Not the gentle kind of laughter that passes unnoticed, but the sharp, cutting kind. The kind that sticks to the walls and hangs in the air like smoke. It came from the men gathered outside Calhoun's general store. Just as the sun dipped low and painted the frontier sky in blood-orange streaks, the target of their amusement stood a few paces away, hat in hand. Boots worn thin at the Celessa, gray-bearded old hired hand named Eli Croft. He belonged, everyone said, to the widow Maeve Holloway, and to them, that made him harmless. Maeve Holloway had buried her husband 12 winters ago. Since then, she'd kept the Holloway ranch breathing through grit, prayer, the quiet loyalty of Eli Croft. He'd arrived one stormy night, leading a half-lame mule, and asking only for work and a place to sleep. Maeve had given him both. He fixed fences, mucked stalls, and sat silent at the edge of the porch each evening, whittling old bits of wood into nothing in particular. Folks in town called him the widow's shadow. They rarely addressed him directly, and when they did, it was with humor sharpened to humiliate. That evening, the swaggering laughter belonged to a group of hired guns passing through townmen with loud mouths, polished boots, and hands that never strayed far from their holsters. Their leader, a broad-shouldered brute named Carter Vane, leaned against a post and tipped his hat mockingly at Eli. "Well, would you look at that?" Carter said. "Didn't know widows kept scarecrows walking upright." The others roared. Eli froze, eyes downcast, fingers curling slowly around the brim of his hat. Leslie stood across the street, groceries in her arms, her heart tightening like a snare. She'd seen cruelty before, seen it take shape in small words and ugly glances, but something about this felt heavier, more dangerous. She wanted to speak, to shout, yet fear nailed her feet to the dirt. Carter took a step closer to Eli. "You carrying anything under that coat of yours, old man? Or just dust and regret?" Eli didn't answer. He never did. But when Carter lunged suddenly and slapped the hat from Eli's hands, something shifted. The smile slid from Eli's face, not into rage, but into something colder, something ancient. "Pick it up," Carter sneered. The town fell still. Even the wind seemed to pull back. Slowly, Eli bent and retrieved his hat. His movements were careful, measured. Then he straightened and looked at Carter, not with fear nor anger, but recognition. "I don't want trouble," Eli said quietly. Carter laughed again. "That's rich." The men drew closer, fingers twitching. That was when Eli shrugged off his coat. 2 worn leather holsters hung at his sides, each cradling a Colt revolver, polished, balanced, alive with history. Twin Colts. The metal caught the fading light, gleaming like a vow. A hush swept through the street. Eli's hands rested lightly near the grips, not threatening, simply, "Ready?" Someone whispered it. Single word carried like a ghost through the crowd. "Devil." Years before, on the blood-soaked plains of the 5th Territory, a man had gained a name. A legend whispered among gunfighters and lawmen alike. The Devil of the 5th, a twin-gun phantom who never boasted, never chased fame, and never fired unless forced. Those who'd crossed him never spoke of it if they lived at all. Carter's face drained of color. His bravado evaporated, replaced by a flicker of terror he couldn't hide. You're dead," Carter stammered. Eli exhaled softly. "So I hoped." For a breathless moment, the world balanced on a hair trigger. No one moved. No one dared blink. Then Carter backed away, hands raised. "We're leaving," he muttered to his men. Now, Boots scrambled. Laughter was replaced by the clatter of fear as the men fled down the road, their pride scattered like dust behind them. Eli slipped his coat back on, covering the Colts once more. Just another old hired hand again. Maeve crossed the street slowly, her legs trembling. She looked at Eli, searching his weathered face for the man she thought she knew, and the man she now realized he had always been. "Eli," she whispered, "who are you?" He met her gaze, eyes softening. "Just a man who's tired of burying graves," he said. "You gave me work when I deserved the dirt. That's all that matters." That night, Eli sat on the porch as he always did. The stars came out, quiet and endless. Maeve joined him, handing him a cup of coffee without a word. Respect had finally caught up to him, but he didn't seem to need it. The town never mocked Eli Croft again. And though the legend of the Devil of the 5th lived on in hushed tones, The man himself remained exactly where he chose to, guarding a widow's home, fixing fences, and proving that the fiercest souls often wear the humblest faces. Because true power doesn't announce itself, it waits.